Let's talk about Never Stop. Zach,
Okay.
you wrote Never Stop.
I did.
What's it about?
Is it weird to sing about Zach's wife?
Not for me.
Not for Zach. Well, sometimes we don't play this song as much anymore, but when it was kind of a staple in our set, I would often start with that joke and think, this next song is about Zach's wife. And, well, it's not a joke, that's actually true, but it's just funny that I'm singing to her.
Competition meeting.
Yeah. Let's talk about Never Stop. Yeah, so you wrote it about your wife,
Yeah.
Skyla.
Zach predates the band, doesn't it? The song.
I do predate. I was born in 1992.
Predates the band.
The band
song.
formed and I spontaneously sprung out of existence. I'm here to play keys.
We need a keyboard player.
What the freak just happened, guys?
So I do predate the band, and
And so does the song.
so does the song. So I wrote it at the beginning of 2015. My wife and I got married in 2014 in December, and so we've been married for like 3.5 months, and my wife and I get along really well. And
I hear that's important in a marriage.
I think it's good. It's a good sign if you get along. But we had our first disagreement. I wouldn't call it an argument. We were just one of those days where we were both grumpy at the same time. And so anyway, I came home from a long day of classes. She was just leaving for work after a long day of classes. And anyway, we just crossed paths, and she left to work, and I stayed home to do homework. And if anybody knows me, they know that I hate doing homework. So instead, I wrote music, and I wrote the song to let my wife know that I still loved her when she got home.
And I've been singing it to her ever since.
Yeah.
But, so you wrote it, and I remember you like, came to the band with it. You're like, I have this song.
Yeah,
And we
like 2
listened to
years
it.
later, though.
Yeah, a while later. And I remember it had this really cool, like, piano. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, whatever we do with this song, that has to stay. So we cut it. Not immediately. We tried really hard to keep it in. But Trevor and I were listening to it, and we're like, this is a great song. We need to make it this band's song, you know? I had just discovered the band Melt.
Yeah.
I freaking love Melt! They're so good.
That got weird.
Let's talk about Never Stop. So I had just discovered a band called Melt, and they have a song called Sour Candy that starts off with this cool like E-piano thing, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and so Trevor and I sat down and were wondering if we could incorporate something similar into this song and like create a vibe for the song sort of around that.
So true to form, the song sounds nothing like Sour Candy by
Well, I mean, in all, no, but
Like
like,
some interesting arrangement choices in the song for a little bit, right?
right.
This song's really weird, actually.
It's super weird. This one was probably the biggest headache on the album.
It's a lot more complicated than it sounds.
Yeah. It changes, like, just from the intro to the verse. The emphasis
The rhythm, yeah.
is constantly shifting, and there are very few sections of the song that are the same.
Well, and the
Every
harmony's
time.
constantly shifting, too. Like, the choruses are not the same.
Well, and the
The
key
bridge
changes.
is potentially in a different key, if you want to analyze it that way.
Yeah, because you
I
can
know.
think about this song getting into music theory. Is it in the key of C or is it in the key of G? I don't know. The bridge would say that it's in the key of C, but the verses say that it's in the key of G because of the D major. You know? Whatever. It's modal. A moody modal song.
It is moody.
It is modal.
Let's talk about Never Stop. So anyway, yeah, we had a lot of fun with that one. It's
Where did the snaps come from at the beginning?
Just Zach.
Yeah, just me.
I still think that nobody wanted them.
well, like I didn't
and
mind
he
having the
somehow
snaps.
stuck it in.
I didn't mind like having them like kind of in the song where they were.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But then we got like the final like master back, and I listened, and there was a snap right at the beginning, and I was like, Zach.
Well, we couldn't figure out how to start the song. Before we had this little solely intro between everybody on the guitar, and we just didn't have a good take of it. And it wasn't worth going back into the studio and re-recording it, and it wasn't that interesting.
So So he
Like, oh, yeah.
replaced the entire band with one snap.
And it solved the problem.
You're like Thanos. Yeah, you're like physical Thanos. That's cool. I like it.
I added the snap, and Trevor disappeared from the band.
But I actually don't hate the snap now. I kind of like
Yeah,
it,
me too.
But
Also, we do a really cool thing in this song that we kind of stole from a Wolfpack jam. We come back in on the chorus, an eighth note,
Oh,
late
okay.
yeah.
on purpose. So,
So the part that Sandra was talking about is when Michael's like,
Oh.
"That's the one."
Will I ever stop? Yeah, and it's just like slightly longer of a
Slightly
pause
longer.
than you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, and how we did that, it was Sandra's idea, took inspiration from Wolfpack, was Ryan King at June Audio actually did this mix, and he was like, okay, here's the final mix. Do you guys have any other requests or changes? And we're like, yeah, this is a weird one. We're waiting for you to finish it. You know how the song's in time? We just need you to go to this moment, cut the song, all tracks, and just nudge him an eighth note. And he's like, why would we do that? I was like, Sandra's idea, it sounds really good. And then he played it back, and he's like, that was a cool choice. And yeah, so if you're counting along to a metronome or on beat, you'll notice that it comes
one,
in.
you're a nerd, and two, you'll notice.
I always
it comes
listen
in
to
late.
music with a metronome.
Real quote from Reed Perkins.
Yeah.
I like Ryan King, except when he steals my donuts.
Yes. I was gonna bring that up.
That
Ryan's
guy.
the man.
That guy.
Will I ever stop? Will I ever stop? Oh, 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 oh.